everyone. I'm going to show you all how to use Skeb. URL being skeb.jp. This is a Japanese website for artists in Japan who can take commissions from pretty much anybody as long as you have a debit or credit card. I'd like to explain how to use it because I understand for some people that a textual guide might not be as easy to follow as like a video. This website is very easy to use, but I thought I would just show you guys. So first off, this is kind of the home page. There is a English guide. It's relatively simple, and I also recommend looking at it anyway. But I do want to show you guys kind of what the general layout's like and how to navigate it. It's very simple. So to sign up, I believe you need a Twitter account because I don't see any other way to sign up. I already have an account, but I will be using another Twitter account just to show you guys what you're going to see when you sign in. So after you sign in, you authorize. And so this will take you to the terms of service and the privacy policy. You can read through this as you please. There's a translation for it. For the privacy policy, it's all in Japanese, so that's up to you to translate. And then a bunch of other stuff. So the main thing you kind of want to focus on here, obviously, read terms of service, is the client guidelines. So as a creator, you cannot sell art on Skeb without a Japanese bank account. However, like I said before, as a client, you do not need one. You can use your debit or your credit card. And I just kind of want to go through these guidelines so you understand them better. So for requesting illustrations from artists, Skeb assists you to support your favorite creators by paid request. You cannot retake, converse, or estimate the amount. So basically what that means is that you cannot ask for edits. You cannot communicate with the artist in between while you're waiting for your piece to be completed. I'm not sure what they mean by estimate the amount. I'm assuming it means by the amount that you pay for you to expect a certain quality of work. That's my assumption. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. You cannot use Skeb to remit rewards and cannot discuss with creators on Twitter, DM, email, etc. So again, you cannot contact creators outside of Skeb, at least directly about your work. Creators will be notified each request by the email. If you cancel a request before approval, you will not be able to send its creator the same amount as before for a certain period. So what that means is that when you are sending a request to an artist, the creator will be notified that they received a request. And if you are to cancel it before they get a chance to approve, the amount that they are currently charging, you might not be able to request from them again for that same amount. The fee will not be processed at the time of sending a request. So, I don't know if it depends. I'm using a debit card, so I don't know if it's different with just like a straight up credit card, but, it will do like one of those, kind of courtesy checks to make sure you actually have your money in your bank account. And then it'll be reversed and then you get charged once that commission is approved. So let's see. So only the highest fee will be requested from your registered credit card. For example, if you send in 2 requests for 30,000 yen and 50,000 yen, the 50,000 yen will be requested from the credit card. So I think that's what it means by like kind of the courtesy check. The amount will be processed in Japanese yen. The amount will be settled when a creator approves the request. And I think that's what it means by when they approve their request, that money is then taken out of your account. It is advisable to not use a debit or prepaid cards as the complete payment is made at the time of sending the request. I guess that's okay. That's kind of going back to what I was saying is, so if you're using a debit like I do or prepaid card, it charges you up front. when you send the request. And I'm assuming what that means is when you're using a credit card, it takes the payment when they accept the request. So just be mindful of that. The amount will be released if a request is canceled or up to 60 days after this. If the creator approves the request and does not deliver, the full amount will be automatically refunded. The time to refund depends on your card issuer. In some cases, it takes several months. We have no way to know it. Generally, debit or prepaid cards are longer times than credit cards. So, for me, I've had, I think, 2 requests canceled before, and I got my money back about 3 or 4 days after the cancellation, but obviously that's going to depend on your bank, and that's just something to, again, be mindful of. And then if there is any issues past that, you're probably going to have to actually contact your bank. Once work has been delivered, it can be used secondarily as an avatar on social media or blogging sites, as well as personal viewing purposes. If you wish to use the work beyond personal use, please seek permission from its creator at the time of request. So what that means is that if you want to use it for like commercial purposes, like you're going to use it in your stream, like let's say on Twitch as a emote or an alert or something like that, when you make the request, you should let the artist know that that's your intention. So, you know, when they approve your request, they are approving to what you are, you know, you're planning to use it for. So again, something to be mindful of. Only clients can set the hidden setting before sending a request. Creators cannot change it. So when you are sending a request, you can choose to have it private, where that that creator will like your art will be hidden on Skeb. However, they still have the freedom to post that commission elsewhere. So again, something to be mindful of. Even with the I always get ahead of myself. Even with the hidden setting, creators may appear in places other than Skeb. So they might repost it on Twitter or Pixiv, and they have the freedom to do so. All contents are left up to the creators. Retakes, which just means edits, and meetings, such as like DMs and stuff, are not possible. The company will not mediate disputes to do with work, such as differences in design. Creators may deliver work that does not necessarily fit with the order description, and creators do not make modifications. Please check out their previous work and carefully choose a creator to request. So Skeb is more or less an artistic freedom website. So, you know, you can tell them what you would like and you show them your character references, but they might stray from that request. Obviously still drawing your character, but that again is something to be mindful of. I haven't had really an issue with that, besides some stuff lost in translation, and that's not the fault of the artist. That's more of a translation issue. But it's never been big enough where I was just like, oh no, my piece is ruined. After sending a request, do not force a creator to check it via SMS. So basically, do not bother them to check the request that you just sent. So don't go DM them on Twitter and be like, hey, I just sent you a request, go look at it. After delivery, creators will not make unjustifiable corrections, and forcing them to do so is in violation of the terms of service. Doing so can cause your account to be immediately deleted. So again, don't bother the artist. Just leave them alone. As long as they complete their work, and you know, that's the terms that you are agreeing to. So these link off site, I don't know what they're for, but those are the main things that you just want to pay attention to. So you agree, and after you agree, it will send your email a confirmation email. And once you receive that, just follow the instructions past then. I'm going to switch over to my actual account. Okay, so this is back over on my actual account that I use. And this is the main page, so I'm kind of going to break down what the sections are. It's pretty, you know, straightforward. So the first section is just going to be new work. So this is just uploads from pretty much anybody on the site, you know, uploading their new work. It's a really good way to find new artists. You know, if you see something that you like, you can click on them and see if they're taking requests, or just follow them until they are taking requests, or whenever you're ready to, again, commission them. New works for voice, so you can commission voice acting, and I'm assuming singing. I haven't really looked into this too much, but that is another option. Another one is text. So, if you want to commission any sort of story work or other similar things. Video. So video can either be like animation or motion design. Music is, again, music. It tends to be non-vocal, but I haven't looked into it too much, so there might actually be, vocalists that you can commission on here as well. Advice. So this is really cool. It's if you have some work that you want help on, like, redlining, or you need help on a specific subject, you can request that from artists if they have that option open. And then here is just new works from following creators. So this is artists that I follow, and anytime they upload new work, I can see it here. New requests of following clients. So you can follow other clients. Like, let's say you like their characters a lot and you want to see art that they're getting. And it's also a good way to find other artists too that you want to commission. Following creators. So these are just some creators that I follow. Popular creators. These are popular ones on the website. New creators. So these are new ones that just signed up. Request masters. I'm assuming these are people. Oh yeah, these are all clients. So these are people who commission a lot of people. Pioneer. I do not know what this is because I think this is new, but yeah. So that is the main page. And then I'll show you what a artist page looks like. So we'll go to this one because it's cute. So they're new. So this is gonna generally show, they've got a portfolio, and so you can see this is where they upload their work that is, it's not always like Skeb requests. It can be art that they did prior to making their account. And then works, this is stuff that people have commissioned on Skeb. You can see up here is basically, it's very similar to like what Twitter would look like. So they got their banner and their profile, a link to their Twitter. Sometimes they have links to other websites, so like Pixiv and stuff. Request, it'll either say seeking or stopped. Seeking means that they are open to request. Stop means they're not. And then not safe for work is if they're either doing it or not. Hidden is if they'll allow private work, where they're not going to show it. And then over here is basically all the request information. So you this will either say new request, or you'll have a button to say notify when they're open, basically, and it'll send you an email when they open up again. And then this is just follow. Genre, so that can be like artwork, advice, music, etc. And sometimes they'll offer multiple. It's not always just like one genre, but if they have multiple, it'll usually have different prices depending on if it's artwork, music, and advice, etc. Recommended amount, so this is basically the amount that they are charging for their work. And you can always pay more and you might get something more than that, but usually people just pay the recommended amount. And that's set by the creator themselves. Max body size, I'm assuming this means the max dimensions of the image that they send you. Response expiration days, so when you send a request, they have up to 30 days to respond, and if they don't, then it automatically gets canceled. And you can always cancel it from your end too. Complete expiration days. So this is basically the amount of days that this artist has set for them to complete your piece. And if they do not complete it by that deadline, then you get automatically refunded and the request gets canceled. But this is also set by the creator. So it can be anywhere from 1 month to 6 months That's generally what I've seen. I'm sure there could possibly be longer. But the plus side is that you kind of have an idea of a deadline, and if they don't complete it, you know you're going to get your money back. Response average days, so that's generally the average it takes them to respond to your, when you send a request, you know, either approve it or deny it. Complete average days. I think this means like the amount of days it takes them to finish a piece after they have been requested. This person only has 2 completed works, so, you know. And then total, you know, they have 2 pieces of work. One that's not safe for work / hidden, so most likely this is a not safe for work piece that the person does not want people to see. Complete rate is 100%, so that means that they've completed 100% of the requests they have received. And then down here, similar creators. So this is usually just people that have similar work to whoever you're looking at. And then we can go over to my page. So this is what your page will look like as a client. If you haven't had a request complete, this will just be blank, but I have commissioned a lot of stuff so far. There's a lot of art. You know, I've got some music, a logo, and then it just copies your information that you have on Twitter. And so I will show you guys what a request looks like. So this is what a completed one looks like. You can see what my original text was. I recommend like if you want to be detailed, that's fine. Just be very simple in the way that you phrase things and very clear, because just be mindful of the translation. So if you get like very wordy with things are more likely to get lost in your translation. Again, remember that Skeb is very artistic freedom based. So if you are someone who is very meticulous about details of your character and you want everything to be perfect and you want to be involved in the process, Skeb's probably not for you. I'm someone who I just like to throw my characters at people and be like, go for it. Have fun. Just make me a pretty picture. And so this is basically what the public would see. You know, they would see my addressee that they'll do. I'll explain what that is later. And then sample is just like a watermark if the creator chooses to have one. And then you, as the client, will be sent the images. And sometimes they'll send you the PSD, which is really cool, because then you can kind of like break down their art too further, just to kind of see how they built it up. And then, oh yeah, and this is what I meant by like it'll show you notify on seeking started. So this artist is not currently taking a request, but if you were wanting to commission them in the future and you want to know when they are, you just click that and you'll get sent an email. And then for requesting people, let's click on somebody. Let's see. Okay, they're open. So this is what the request page would look like. So this person is taking artwork and advice requests. So we would click artwork. So their recommended amount is 6,000 yen. And so I would just leave it at that. You are obviously more than welcome to offer more. You can try to offer less, but I wouldn't recommend it. You'll probably not get what you think you're gonna get. So don't be cheap. Text, that's just where you write, about your character, and then you link your links for your references. I also recommend having a clear character reference as well. Not safe for work, so you turn that on or off depending on if you're wanting a not safe for work piece. To even have this as an option, you also have to turn on the not safe for work filter in your profile settings, which I'll show later. I have them off because I don't want them. Anonymous, that's just the whole if you want to send your request to this artist anonymously and you don't want them to link the art to your account, or maybe you're getting someone gift art, I don't know, that's an option. Details, cross posts. So this is basically, from my understanding, let's say you are sending a request to multiple people at the same time, but you only have money for one of them, or you only want to commission one person at at that time, but you kind of want to like have more opportunities to possibly be approved. I think if you select that on for all your requests, then whoever approves it first will be the one that goes forward, and then all the other ones get canceled. At least that's what it sounds like. I have not messed with that, so I don't know. Auto translation. So if you are not a Japanese speaker, you would turn that on and it will translate your text into Japanese. If you know how to type in Japanese, you turn that off and then you just type in Japanese. Hidden. So that's if you want it to be private. But again, they still have the right to publish their work elsewhere, so they can still post it on Twitter or Pixiv, with or without addressee. So where I showed you before on my artwork, their watermark, it showed like 2 Bargas black. So that's just kind of like what they would post on social media. But you can choose to have it off. Either way, you're going to be getting the version of that art without it on. So that's totally up to you. And then addressee, that's just, you can put whatever name you want them to write on it. And then these are the terms that you are agreeing to whenever you send a request. So it is prohibited to contact creators on any method, including external tools such as Twitter, email, etc., regardless of before and after requesting. So that's just, don't bother them about your request. Mention URL on description of your request. If you have reference material, it is prohibited to send it later with any external tools. So again, put your URL in the text. That means also that like if something changes with your character design before they complete their request, you cannot go on Twitter and be like, hey, here's an updated reference. So again, that's something to be mindful of. It is prohibited to specify or urge delivery deadlines, so you cannot choose a deadline. They already have a set deadline. You can't be like, hey, I need this by Christmas, because that's not going to fly. The copyright of the work belongs to the creator. It is prohibited to specify or restrict the publication place of the work, so you can't tell them where they can and can't post, aside from on Skeb with the whole hidden option. Creators do not have to follow any instructions such as character, composition, resolution, diff, I don't know what that means, file format, etc. So by character, I think they mean like personality or attitude of the character. So that just it means that like you can request like in the sense that like, oh, this is a suggestion, like I would like my character doing such and such, and the artist can follow that, or they can choose to do something else. Most of the time they are going to follow what you ask of them, but basically it just is to keep artists safe if they tend to stray. You cannot object even if you are not satisfied with the quality of the work. So there is some risk involved with that, in the sense that technically an artist could probably just be like, you know what, I know you paid all this money for like a fully rendered art, but here's a sketch. That's very, very unlikely to happen. So I would really not worry about like a huge quality dip or anything like that. But that's again something to be mindful of, is that artists have a lot of control as far as the work that they are producing. In addition, you have confirmed all the items described in contract and policy. So that's the general, you're hearing the TOS and policy. And let's see, I'll explain what appeals are in a second. So account, this is what your account settings are going to look like. User IDs, just whatever you want your username to be. Your email. If you do not want them to send you emails whenever you get like notifications and stuff, you can turn that on. Display language, so what you want the site to be displayed in, what your language is. Your time zone, not safe for work, so you would turn that on if you want not safe for work. And then there is an option for hardcore, so that's for like the more extreme not safe for work, so you can turn that on and off if you want. Just to be aware that that kind of work is on the site. But, you know, if you turn it off, it's pretty easy to avoid, you know, those types of artists. Mute keywords, so if there's any sort of words that you want to completely block out artwork that shows, so like triggering content, etc., that's where you would put it. Just be aware that, you know, some of that might not show up depending on the words that are used by, you know, whoever's requesting the art. Show social links, so this is on your profile if you want a link back to your Twitter or any other links that are on your Twitter, and then update profile from Twitter. So if you want to, if you change like profile information on your Twitter, you would click this to update it. I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna open it. Appeals, so you can check the reception, send information of the appeal. I think this just links to your appeal page, which again, I'll explain what that is in a second. Let's see, client accepting appeals. So you turn that on or off if you are accepting appeals, which again, I will explain in a second. Anonymous, so if you want to send a request anonymously, you would turn that on, with or without addressee, so you can turn that on or off. What name you want to be your addressee name. Notice words. Let's see. Notice words contains the notice keyword if they have been done. I don't know what that is. Credit card, that's just going to be where you're going to put in your credit card info when your account is confirmed. Payment history, so you can kind of like keep track of everything that you have paid for. Print order history, apparently you can order prints on here. I have not really explored that too much. It might be a Japan only thing, but again, that's something for you to explore. Creator, so this is all just for creators. Again, you have to have a Japanese bank account, so if you don't worry about that. Etc. That's just if you want to delete your account. And then we will talk about appeals. So appeals are a really cool feature on this website where a artist can send you an appeal to commission them, and usually that is at a discount rate. So we'll take my recent one that I got as an example. So they sent it to me in Japanese and it was translated as "Nice to meet you, Bone Mommy." Bone Mommy is my Twitter name. I'm fascinated by your mysterious design. If you don't mind, I'd like to draw an illustration for you. I'd be happy if you could take a look at my portfolio on my sketch page and my delivered works for reference. I'm looking forward to working with you. And then right here, it shows that their appeal is for 1,500 yen. So, you know, you click on the creator, you can check out their work, and you can see that their regular price is 3,000 yen. But because of the fact that they sent you appeal, you can send in a request, and that would be a, you know, a spot where you would, you know, type out, you know, the amount that they appealed for. And you can also completely ignore them if you're just like not interested. But it's a good way to, you know, find new creators and also creators that are interested in your character. So that's what appeals are. It's really cool. Search bar is just for tags, so you can type in what you're looking for. I don't know if I want to try because sometimes not safe for work stuff still gets through the filter, and I'm posting this on YouTube. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And notifications are, again, you know, updates on any of your requests. And then we'll just go over this last. So the request is basically where you're tracking all your requests that you have either sent, was accepted, completed, canceled, etc. So draft, I'm assuming, is just whenever you are filling out a request but you're not done with it and you want to send it to a draft for later. Pending is if you send a request and you're waiting for the artist to approve. Accepted are all the ones that have been accepted but not completed. And this is also where you can kind of keep track of deadlines and kind of like what the time frame is as far as, like, you know, when one is going to be coming up. So like this is my closest deadline, which is November 18th, versus I have another one that the deadline is March 9th. So just be aware that like the deadlines can range pretty drastically. But from my experience, most artists will complete it before their deadline. If not the day of, which I have had happen. Complete, so this is all stuff that has been completed and then canceled. So these are ones that either hit that that deadline for them to accept, or they closed the request. So mine was canceled, you know, similar stuff to that. And yeah, so that is how Skeb works. It's very easy. If you have any questions regarding the website, feel free to ask, and I will try to help. So hopefully that's helpful. Thanks, guys. Bye.